If you read the stat sheets, the legendary King Tiger was the ultimate apex predator of World War II. It weighed nearly 70 tons. It carried the devastating 88mm KWK-43 gun, and most importantly, it boasted a massive 150mm of sloped frontal armour. On paper, it was a mobile fortress, immune to almost everything the Allies could throw at it. But the truth is, by the time the King Tiger hit the battlefield in 1944, the legendary German engineering was bleeding out. The thickest armour in the world means absolutely nothing if the chemistry holding it together is fundamentally broken. The King Tiger didn't have a super armour, it had fake armour. And for the crews locked inside these 70-ton steel coffins, it was a death trap. To understand why the King Tiger's armour was fatally flawed, you have to look at how steel is actually made. Good tank armour requires a delicate balance of hardness and ductility. You want it hard enough to stop a shell, but flexible enough to absorb the kinetic shockwave without shattering like glass. To achieve this, metallurgists use rare alloys, specifically molybdenum, manganese, and nickel. By mid-1944, the Reich was being strangled. Allied bombing raids had pulverized their infrastructure. More importantly, Germany had lost access to the global supply chain. They lost their manganese from the Soviet Union. They lost their molybdenum from Norway. The German foundries were forced to improvise. They ramped up the carbon content to maintain the sheer hardness of the steel, but without molybdenum to bind it properly, the armour became incredibly brittle. The King Tiger was wearing 150mm of steel that behaved more like cast iron. This catastrophic drop in metallurgical quality led to a terrifying phenomenon on the Eastern Front: spalling. When a Soviet IS-2 tank fired its massive 122mm high-explosive round at a King Tiger, the shell didn't even need to penetrate the armour to destroy the tank. When that massive kinetic energy slammed into the King Tiger's brittle frontal plate, the steel couldn't flex to absorb the blow. Instead, the shockwave travelled straight through the plate, causing the inside layer of the armour to violently crack and flake off. Massive, razor-sharp shards of steel, some the size of dinner plates, would explode inward at supersonic speeds, ricocheting around the cramped crew compartment. The Soviet shell never pierced the tank, but the German crew was wiped out by their own armour. This is the gritty reality that the history books often gloss over. A weapon system is only as strong as the logistics network feeding it. The King Tiger was an intimidating piece of machinery, but it was born into an empire that could no longer afford to build it properly. It was a vanity project. A 70-ton bunker made of compromised steel, waiting to be shattered by sheer kinetic force. If you want the brutal, unpolished reality of military history, make sure you hit subscribe. We don't do Hollywood myths here, we do the facts.